You know, I came across a study based upon the average network, both the average network and the medium network of black men in the United States. And this is based upon a study from July 2024, almost a year ago. And the study indicated how the median network of the average black man in the U.S. was 44,900, whereas the average network was around 211,000, and I believe 211,500. Anyway, some of you may wonder, where am I going with this? What is my point of providing this kind of information? My point of doing so, by the way, welcome back to the channel, is on behalf of how so many black women, especially if you look at shows and follow dating shows by the likes of the Kendra G show, which is a very popular show, not just in the US alone, but worldwide. It always has so many black women who are always looking for that ideal man making six figures, that ideal black man specifically, because if you pay close attention, even if you may have just came across a few shorts of the Kendra G show, ladies and gentlemen, some of them not only may desire men within their own race, their very own race, but men who usually has to have an income, median income, or minimum income, to put it another way, at the minimum of 100,000 a year. In some cases, 500,000 a year and up. These are the same types of sisters, same types of black women who may have so much baggage, usually, so to speak. And what I mean by that, have usually gotten their hearts broken after picking the wrong men in most cases who are usually no good, who may either be abusive towards them or have been abusive towards them, and they may have ended the relationship due to how abusive their exes may have been. If not that, usually may have been the type of woman who, man who may have ran around from woman to woman, you know, the womanizer, the type of guy. The same types of brothers who are always depicted in most quote-unquote black movies, especially when you look at the average Tyler Perry movie, or if not Tyler Perry movie, Tyler Perry show, usually. How they always depict the average African-American male as a piece of crap, so to speak. Anyways, I'm going to show you some clips, several clips at that, on behalf of women, and even one brother, I won't say his name, but in the same breath, quite a bit of you know him from off of social media, and he's known to be a scholar. Anyways,
a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer as an African woman in Australia or America or the UK or Toronto or Johannesburg, looking for a black man who has financial equity with your type of career success, that's going to be difficult. You might got to tone it down a little bit. What I find as a therapist who works with couples, too often black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity. He's willing to help with those children. He will nurture you, look out for you, but he might not be able to put you in a Mercedes. And I've seen black women turn down good men because he didn't have the economics, but he had everything else. Sisters need to be careful not to fall into this European narrative of judging men primarily by how much they make. A doctor, a lawyer, an engineer,
and I say,
by the way, that was the scholar that I was referring to. And that scholar, for once again, quite a bit of you who may follow him or know him, either know him on behalf of social media, where they may be eat on behalf of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Quite a bit of you may be familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson, who spoke in the very first clip. Anyways,
this is somebody who throughout their formative years dated somebody throughout college, no jobs, through the first major big person job. I will never, ever, ever do that again, especially at my age. At my age, I would have to date somebody much younger than me. That's not going to happen. It simply cannot. But also, just the things that I let fly at 17, at 20, at 25, it will never happen again. Y'all better thank that boy, because it will never happen again. Prime example of one person ruins it for everybody. But also just the plans, the things that I have in motion for myself, it wouldn't even make sense for me to regress like that. If I was dating some unemployed poor man, my family would be looking for how to institutionalize me.
A broke man is a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one. And I'm not talking about lavish dates and trips. I'm not talking about having a ridiculous standard and being shallow. I'm talking about the fact that when a man is at a point in his life and he is not able to do the most fundamental things for himself, he is at war with himself. And you will be the punching bag in the war that he is having in his own self. You do not want to be that. Society puts a lot of pressure on men to be providers, to be protectors, and their identity is associated with that. And when they cannot even do it at the most basic level for themselves, that is a problem for them. A lot of men, what they do, obviously, it's survival. They'll find a female that they will love bomb, they will convince to invest in their potential, to let them move in, to, let them put their stuff in her garage or use her address or any type of thing to get by. And here's what happens. Either you spend your time, your years, your youth, your money, your resources building this man up. And because he is not in a man's position, he does not feel like a man. And once he's built up, he will take all of your investment and go invest it in another woman who actually makes him feel like a man. Or what happened in my case is that he actually stays, but he develops a secret hatred towards you. It's a secret competition. Every chance he gets, he's trying to dim your light. He tries to tear you down. He speaks negatively of you, and he doesn't want people to think good things about you. It's because he's insecure in his own manhood. And when men are broke, they are not secure in their manhood. You need to leave that man alone. You need to let him go through his process. You need to let him do whatever he needs to do to get on his feet, but you are not the one to help him. If he has to go and sleep on other people's couches, so be it. If he has to go home for a short time, so be it. We've all been at low points in our life, but you, ma'am, don't need to be the one rescuing him. What is that animal? I think it's the sea turtle. Please, I know you'll come for me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the life of a sea turtle, this is what I've heard. I've never been there. I've never seen it. But, sea turtles are born in the sand, and it's a long journey from the sand to the ocean. They want to live in the ocean. That's where they're journeying towards the ocean. And it's a very long, hard, arduous journey to get from where they were born to the ocean. And that journey, a lot of them don't make it. And they are struggling. They're moving slowly. They're almost out of, the energy to actually get to the waves, to the ocean where they will thrive. And so tourists go and they see these little turtles and they go and pick them up because they feel sorry for them. And they take them and they carry them to the ocean. And what happens is those turtles die because the journey from the sand to the ocean, they were developing muscles, they were developing stamina, they were developing survival skills that are going to be necessary for them to survive in the ocean. You are not Build-A-Bear. You are not Captain Save-A-Ho. You deserve to be loved, protected, provided, cared for, showered with gifts, showered with love. And I'm not being shallow. It doesn't have to be trips to Paris and Rome, although we don't refuse that. I am saying that when a man is not where he wants to be, it is never going to serve you. You are going to be the one paying for it. He is either going to build himself up and go somewhere else, or stay where he's at and secretly resent you for it. It's not worth it. It's not his time to be looking for somebody to add to his life. But because he's trying to survive, he'll do whatever he has to do. Don't be stupid. One more thing I want to add. That whole saying of what you don't do, another one will. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm very well aware that if I don't do it, another female will. And guess what? I don't want to be the female that will. I will happily let him go somewhere else. It's not going to be me. I'm at peace with that, sir. You can go.
You want a man who is financially secure, yes. Okay? Do not date any broke man. A broke man can't love you. I stand on that. Broke men can't love you. When a man is broke, because of the way a man is built mentally, he doesn't have the capacity to be the kind of man that you want. He's not going to be able to meet your needs, period. Promise you. Okay? His cortisol's high. He's stressed the hell out. He's gone internal. It's about hunting and surviving and thriving because it meets their primary need of significance. So when he cannot do that, then he's going to go within. He's going to get very selfish. That's just what they do by nature. That means that he's not going to be able to pour into your feminine energy in order for you to feel fully supported.
3 things I've learned from holding a broken man down. Listen, number 1 is that his being broken don't got shit to do with you. And no matter how much you love him, his ass is still going to be broken. 2, I really think we need to say this out loud. At our big grown age, I'm a millennial. I don't have time to see the potential in your ass. Either you have it or you don't. And come with money because, baby, I'm not looking for potential. Okay? Now, I know the shitty brokies are going to come and attack me on this, but the final one and the last one is nobody wants to be your hospice wife. After you done lived the streets, fucked the bitches, been outside, committed to the wrong motherfucker for 20 years, I'm not coming to take care of you until you die. You want to do that on your own. Pour that energy into yourself. Learn some shit. Do some shit. Get a hobby. Fucking learn how to ski, bitch. But stop trying to fix these broken niggas. They're not going to be fixed by you. That's God's work. Have you ever loved a broken man?
This is why a lot of people get ghosted or go into debt, because broke men should not be dating. You can't impress a woman with nothing, okay? You can't impress a woman with an empty wallet. So I feel like broke men should be trying to get their money up instead of trying to date. Like, they should be literally striving for more than sitting there trying to impress a woman with empty pockets. It doesn't go together. Never has, never will, okay? I feel like a lot of men know this. This is why they tend to have friends with benefits, or they don't want a commitment, or they don't want to get into a relationship where there's emotional attachment, because they know they can't impress you financially. So a lot of men will tell women, I don't want nothing serious. I just want to be friends, for 1 or 2 reasons. Either they're broke or they already got somebody, or both. So listen to what they tell you in the beginning. That's usually an indicator of their finances or their status of being single or not. They literally will tell you from the start. So a lot of women are dumb and they'll agree to it because, oh, he's so cute, or, oh, he might be the one. He ain't the one if he just told you you ain't the one. All right. They do need to get their money up, for real. That's why all these men walk around screaming and yelling, I need a woman to submit to me. Well, you can't find that unless you have some money, because women don't submit to brokenness. So
I don't date broke men, not because I want to take advantage of men, but because I'm not broke. And I have a quality of life that I currently have, and I want to keep that same quality. So why would I date somebody that's broke? It's okay to be broke. We just not gonna get together.
You should always have your own money as a woman, but having your own money doesn't mean that you should let your dating standards slip. You Keke Palmer had a father that allowed her to pay his bills when she was a child. Of course, she feels unworthy of being with a provider. She's been the provider her entire life. You may be thinking, oh, Keke's dad sacrificed for her to live her dreams. In reality, that grown man saw his daughter as a golden ticket to the good life, and he put his entire family's financial burden on the shoulders of a teenage girl. He threw his child into the darkness of Hollywood so that he didn't have to work, and y'all are praising that? To me, that's a dereliction of duty as a father and a man. Whereas someone like LisaRaye, whose parents completely provided for her, doted on her, pampered her like a princess, she has way higher standards for the men that she allows into her life. In the words of Kanye West, the people highest up have the lowest self-esteem. Let Keke Palmer and Gabrielle Union be an example for you. Beautiful, yes. Intelligent, yes. Talented, yes. Still have trauma around men and money? Yes. Many things can be true at once. There's a reason LisaRaye ended up as a literal queen. Meanwhile, Keke fell for a bummy nobody whose job was Jim. She thought, well, he's cute. I have money. I can financially support us. Why not? Let me tell you why not. A man will take a free lunch and in the same breath resent the person that gave it to him. He will literally bite the hand that feeds him because he's resentful and insecure about not being able to feed himself. At the end of the day, a man's honor and confidence comes from fulfilling his duties. And those duties, since the beginning of time, have been to provide and protect. If a man is not providing and protecting on some level, he's going to feel like he's not a real man. Why do you think Mr. Moms, stay-at-home dads, they always crash out? They know deep down, as a man, that is not what they were put on this earth to do. That is not their duty in society. How many more Keke Palmers, Halle Baileys, Sky Jacksons do we need to see before we get it? If a man is not improving your life, he is absolutely ruining it. You should always have your own.
Now, I find this pretty interesting how all of these females are against dating broke men for the most part. And quote unquote, I will put that in quotations, might I add, as well, because they did not specify what they exactly meant by broke men. And when that being said, I'm assuming they mean just like so many women who may appear on the Kendra G show, even the Ashley L. Dalton show. For some of you who may know about the Ashley L. Dalton dating show, which is very similar to the Kendra G show, by Ashley not being as popular as Kendra G. I'm assuming these women mean by broke men, so to speak, and quote unquote broke men who may not meet the average income threshold, average yearly income threshold, and net worth of at least $100K a year or more. And I guarantee you, out of all these women in all these clips who were trying to put other women on hip about staying away from quote unquote broke men, I guarantee you that just all of these females that I showed are dating a quote unquote broke men. Well, excuse me, broke man, or have dated several broke men in the past. And do you know why? Due to how so many black women go by street swag in order for a man to be attractive to them. He could be a man who doesn't have a job at all. As long as he has some sort of street credibility or street swag, whether it may be him being tied in with the streets as far as having connections with a whole lot of dope boys or drug dealers, or being an actual drug dealer himself. If not that, being a guy who can't stay out of jail due to him always getting into trouble with the law all the time. The same types of guys who they may have been in the car with on behalf of them being in high-speed chases from the police, The same types of guys who they find so exciting, so many black women. The same types of guys who could just be working a fast food job, but they will still go out of their ways to take care of. These same exact women who are always claiming to want such a high value and successful, high earning man, these types of women. And when they do, in most cases, get a man of that caliber, they're never still satisfied, because what do? They always may cheat on him due to him being too lame, when the quote unquote bad boy, the guy usually when the excessive tattoos, the guy that's always under the influence of some kind of narcotic, if not under the influence of some kind of narcotic, who's always getting into fights, what it may be, either fist fights or gun fights, those types of guys. And this just goes to show you how so many black women are full of crap, to the point where they really don't know what they want. Anyways, make sure to like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel.